Friends, we will start with the new topic, issue, forfeiture and reissue of shares, multiple choice questions. Already we discussed with the theory part of this particular topic as well as we did few problems on this particular topic. So now let us get into the multiple choice questions with that particular understanding. So to start with the first question, share application account. Share application account, by nature what type of account it is? Is it a personal account? Is it a real account? Is it a nominal account? As a point. Friends, capital is a personal account. And of course this is not yet converted into capital, but this is the amount. Share application is an amount which you received from person. So this is a personal account. So A is the right answer. The minimum share application money is what? Rupees 2 per share, 50% of the nominal value of the share, 50% of the nominal value of the share, 20% of the nominal value of the share is a point. What is the minimum share application money? That is, minimum share application money, 50% of the nominal value of the shares is not the point. That is, it should be the 20% of the nominal value of the share. Minimum 20% should be the minimum share application money. D is the right answer. Question number 3. Maximum share application money can be, 50% of the issue price of the share. C is the right answer. Question number 4. Nominal share capital is what? Nominal share capital or authorized share capital or registered share capital, what does it mean? That is the maximum amount of the share capital which a company is authorized to issue as a point. C is the right answer. Question number 5. Which of the following is not an essential condition for issue of shares at a discount? C. The shares must belong to a class of shares already issued. The issue is made within 2 months after receiving the sanction from the national company of the law board. At least 1 year has elapsed since the company became entitled to commence the business. These are all the essential requirements for issuing the shares at a discount. But approval of controller of the capital issues must have been taken is not the requirement for issuing the shares at a discount as a point. So other way around, for a share to be issued at a discount, the share must belong to a class of share which is already issued, and the issue is made within 2 months after receiving the sanction, approval from where? National Company Law Board. And at least 1 year have elapsed since the company became entitled to commence its business. Only after these 3 conditions are met only you need to go ahead with the issuing of the shares at a discount, but approval of the controller of the capital issues is not a requirement for issuing the shares at a discount. Question number 5, C is the right answer. Question number 6, discount on issue of shares is a capital loss. A is the right answer. Question number 7, when a company issues the shares at a premium, the amount of the premium may be received by the company along with application money, it can be along with allotment money or along with the calls. So D is the right answer, along with any of it, A, B and C. D is the right answer. Question number 8. Issue of shares at a discount of 10% or less must be authorized by a resolution passed by the company in the general body meeting, and it should have the sanction by the court as a point. So what we say, issuing of the shares at a discount of 10% or less must be authorized by the resolution passed by the company in the general body meeting. So, and also sanctioned by the court. So D is the right answer for question number 8. Question number 9. If a company has adopted table A, what is this table A? Earlier also we discussed on this table A. What is table A? In case if the company is not going ahead with issuing articles of association, then what is articles of association? Internal rules and regulations for the company. Then if a particular company is not having its own articles of association, it need to adopt the table A which is given in the company law. So if a company has adopted table A, the company is required to pay interest on calls in advance. Calls in advance के ऊपर कितना interest देना पड़ेगा? 6%. B is the right answer. If a company has adopted table A, it can charge interest on calls in arrears के ऊपर कितना interest charge कर सकते? 5%. Calls in advance के ऊपर कितना पे करना पड़ेगा? 6%. लेना बोले तो 5%, देना बोले तो 6%. Reverse. Point here is interest on calls in arrears. I am making a call. I am a company, I am making a call. And you are a shareholder, you are not paying it in time. Then I can take how much of interest from you? 5%. The other way around is like you made calls, paid the calls in advance, then your money is there with me. So what is the amount of the interest that the company need to pay to you is 6%. So if somebody's money we have taken, company has taken it in advance in the form of calls in advance, then company need to pay how much? 6%. If a company need to get the money which is in arrears, then it can collect on that particular arrears how much of the interest? 5% is a point. A is the right answer. Question number 11. In the absence of specific information to the contrary, security premium is collected along with. See, generally security premium will be collected at the time of the allotment of the share. Along with the allotment money, it will be collected. Unless and otherwise it is stated in a different way, the premium amount is going to be collected along with the allotment money. B is the right answer. Question number 12. Discount allowed on reissue of forfeited shares is. See friends, shares got forfeited. That is, let us suppose I issued shares, company issued shares, and one particular shareholder paid 7 rupees, failed to pay the remaining 3 rupees. Then what will happen? Company has got a right to forfeit that particular person's share, and it will transfer whatever the amount collected to the share forfeiture account. Subsequently, company is making issue of share of face value of 10 rupees for 8 rupees. So it is giving how much of the discount? 2 rupees of the discount. That discount it is going to adjust against what? Share forfeiture account as a point. So discount on issue of forfeited shares will be debited to the share forfeiture account. Then what is the entry you are going to write? Bank account debtor 8 rupees, share forfeiture account debtor 2 rupees, to share application, or in case if this money is being collected at share application or towards straight away share capital लिखना बोले तो to share capital 10 rupees लिख देते आप. तो discount on issue or reissue of forfeited share is going to be debited to which account? Will be debited to the share forfeiture account. B is the right answer. Question number 13. Shares which are not preference shares are called as equity shares. A is the right answer. Question number 14. A situation where a company receives the application for less number of shares than what is offered to the public for subscription, such is called as under subscription. B is the right answer. Question number 15. Share in a company is what? Is a movable asset, immovable goods, paper currency, negotiable instrument. See friends, share is not an asset. Share capital is what? A liability. Share capital is what? A liability or an obligation from the company's point of view. Yes, from the shareholder's point of view, it may be an investment and an asset. But basically it is a negotiable kind of thing. Of course, in case of a public limited company. In case of a private limited company, there will be restriction on a transfer of the shares. But other way around, share of a company can be very well be transferred from one person to the another person freely. So anything that can be transferred freely, you call it as a negotiable instrument. So D is the right answer. For question number 15, D is the right answer. From the next question number 16, forfeited shares reissued cannot be issued at a discount more than the amount forfeited. A is the right answer. What does it mean, friends? Let us suppose Chandramouli is a shareholder. He made investment in Chakravarti and company. For 10 rupees a share, he paid 6 rupees and failed to pay 4 rupees. Failed to pay 4 rupees. So Chakravarti and company forfeited the shares of Chandramouli. Now Chakravarti and company want to make a reissue of shares. What is the maximum discount that we can give? Maximum discount that we can give is, what is it? 6 rupees. And we can collect that 4 rupees and can make the issue of the reissue of the share. But if we think of giving a discount of 7 rupees, company law says, if you are so kind enough, why can't you give the same to Mr. Chandramouli himself? So, having forfeited the shares on the pretext that somebody has not made the payment of the call, again when you are making the reissue, you can't issue the same at a discount which is more than the forfeited amount is a point. A is the right answer. Question number 17. Share forfeited account is shown as shown on the liability side of the balance sheet by adding the same to the paid up capital. Share forfeiture account will be shown on the liability side of the balance sheet by adding the same to the paid up capital. When, friends, you will transfer the amount in the share forfeiture account to the capital reserve, only when such forfeited shares got reissued, then only the balance in the share forfeiture account can be transferred to the capital reserve. Once that happens, then that will appear under reserves and surplus. But till such time the shares which got forfeited are not reissued, then share forfeited account is shown on what? On the liability side of the balance sheet by adding the same to the paid up capital is a point. D is the right answer. Question number 18. Share premium account is shown where? Share premium account is shown on the liability side under the heading reserves and surplus. It's a profit which should be shown on the liability side of the balance sheet under the heading reserves and a surplus as a point. D is the right answer. For question number 18, D is the right answer. Question number 19, voluntary return of the shares for cancellation by the shareholder is called as, see, forcefully company cancelling it, you are terming it as a share forfeiture. That too also when it happens, it happens when the shareholder failed to pay the call money. But voluntarily also people can come forward to surrender it. So voluntary return of the shares for cancellation by the shareholder is called as a surrender of the shares. A is the right answer. Question number 20. Balance in the share forfeiture account is shown in the balance sheet under which head? Under the head share capital account only, not under the head reserves and surplus. C is the right answer. Question number 21. In case of shares have been issued at a premium and the amount of premium has been received, then at the time of forfeiture of such shares, share premium account should neither be debited nor be credited. दोस्तों ये क्या चीज है? Earlier also we did on this particular point few problems also. Let me remind you again, once a security premium got collected on the shares, such a security premium cannot be reversed on forfeiture of the shares. Of course, security premium is not yet collected. Your calls in arrears include security premium to be collected. At that time, once you are making forfeiture, you can very well reverse the security premium account. But other way around, on forfeiture of the shares, security premium collected cannot be reversed by making the debit, because security premium once collected can be used only for 5 sacred purposes, which also we have discussed earlier. So C is the right answer. Question number 22. In case shares have been issued at a premium and share premium account has been created but amount has not been received, then at the time of forfeiture of such shares, happily security premium account should be debited as a point. A is the right answer. Definitely these two questions of 21 and 22 is very, very important from the examination point of view. Then, dosto, question number 23. Company can forfeit the shares if the shareholders fail to pay the amount that is called during the stipulated time as a point. A is the right answer. Question number 24. Which of the following statement is true? Subscribed capital can exceed the paid up capital. Subscribed capital can exceed the paid up capital. पहले क्या क्या कैपिटल्स होता उसके बारे में अंडरस्टैंडिंग अच्छा है तो इसको समझ सकते हैं आप. तो क्या है? ऑथराइज्ड कैपिटल. इट इज द अमाउंट फॉर विच कंपनी इज registering the same amount. That is, our point is, in the capital clause they will be mentioning what is the capital of the company. That is nothing but authorized capital. Beyond that, company cannot issue the share capital. It is not that entire authorized capital the company need to make issue. A part of it may issue. So that whatever that is offered to the public to subscribe is called as issued capital. After that, public will make the subscription. Such is called as a subscribed capital. Then the next issue is, of course, if there is an oversubscription, you are going to refund them, and if there is an undersubscription, then okay, of course, even the undersubscription should be over the minimum subscription. Over the minimum subscription. If it is below the minimum subscription, then completely it is to be refunded, is what we studied earlier also. Here what is the point is, subscribed capital can exceed the paid up capital. Yes, let us suppose company issued 1 lakh shares of ₹10 each. But on that, so far what is called up is only 8 rupees per share. What is called up is only 8 rupees per share, and all the people paid also that 8 rupees. So now your this thing is what? 1 lakh into 10 is equal to 10 lakhs is the subscribed capital, whereas your paid up capital is only what? 1 lakh into 8 rupees is 8 lakhs only. So happily your subscribed capital can exceed the paid up capital is a point. Happily your subscribed capital can exceed the paid up capital, whereas the other things are, issued capital can be less than the called up capital. Issued capital cannot be less than the called up capital. Paid up capital is always equal to authorized capital, वो भी गलत है. और subscribed capital cannot exceed the issued capital. No, subscribed capital can very well exceed the what is it, paid up capital. So D is the right answer, दोस्तों. Question number 25. Any balance in the share forfeiture account after all the forfeited shares are reissued should be, once the shares which got forfeited are reissued, amount to the credit of the share forfeiture account must get transferred from share forfeiture account to which account? To the capital reserve account. C is the right answer. Question number 26. When shares are forfeited, capital account is debited by called up amount on the shares. What is the entry for share forfeiture? दोस्तों, what is the entry for the share forfeiture? Share capital account debtor. Share capital account debtor to calls in arrears to share forfeiture accounts. शेयर कैपिटल क्या बैलेंस दिखाते? क्रेडिट बैलेंस दिखाते. उसको क्लोज करना बोले तो क्या करना? डेबिट करना पड़ेगा. कॉल्स इन एरियर शोस विच बैलेंस? डेबिट बैलेंस. कॉल्स इन एरियर्स शो से डेबिट बैलेंस बिकॉज इट इज एन अमाउंट रिकवरेबल फ्रॉम समबडी, सो इट शोस ए डेबिट बैलेंस. उसको क्लोज करना बोले तो क्या करना? क्रेडिट कर देना. शेयर फॉरफीचर इज टू बी क्रेडिटेड बिकॉज इट इज द अमाउंट which you have forfeited not to make the payment to anybody, so it's a profit kind of situation, so you are going to credit that particular share forfeiture account is a point, friends. तो एंट्री क्या है? लिख दो एंट्री, शेयर कैपिटल अकाउंट डेटार टू कॉल्स इन एरियर्स टू share forfeiture accounts. So that is the entry. Then share capital is getting debited with the called up amount. Calls in arrears is credited with the calls in arrears amount. Share forfeiture account always will be created with what? What is so far collected, excluding the what is it? Security premium, because security premium once collected cannot be reversed as a point. Then friends, question number 27, a company can pay the dividends out of the monies provided by the government for such purpose. Profit remaining after the reissue of forfeited shares, capital redemption reserve account, share premium account. पहले तो हम एक एक को exclude करेंगे. Share premium account or security premium account can be utilized only for certain specific purposes under the Companies Acts. Then capital redemption reserve account can be used only for issuing of the bonus shares. It cannot be used for what is it? Declaration of dividends or paying of the dividends. Profit remaining after the reissue of forfeited shares is a capital profit which gets transferred to the capital reserve account. Generally capital profits, except in exceptional situations, they will not be permitted to pay the dividend. So B, C, D are going into the exclusion principle. Then what remained is the money provided by the government for such purpose. Sometimes government will provide the money, and that using that money you may very much make the payment of the dividends. A is the right answer. Question number 28 दोस्तों, security premium can be used for redemption of shares at a premium. So premium on redemption of shares can be very well be written off against the security premium, but the other three B, C, D, these are not the purposes for which security premium can be used as a point, friends. Then question A is the right answer. Question number 29. Maximum amount of the capital that a company can raise is called as authorized capital. A is the right answer. Question number 30. Consider the following items which appears in the reserves and surplus of the balance sheet: profit and loss account, capital redemption reserve, security share premium, capital reserve. What is the correct sequence of these items? Correct sequence बोले तो क्या है? From the point of view of the rigidity क्या? See, profit and loss account is a free reserve, whereas other three are not the free reserves. So profit and loss account is a free reserve, other three are not the free reserves. So profit and a loss account should come at the last. And what is the thing that is going to come first? Is the capital reserve, which represents a capital profit. Then what is it? Capital redemption reserve. Then security premium. Then what is it? Profit and loss account. 4, 2, 3, 1. That is capital reserve, capital redemption reserve, security premium, then profit and loss account. Of course, if you look at the 4, in what way? See, This order which I am giving you as capital reserve, then capital redemption reserve, then security premium, then profit and loss account is the order which is given by the Schedule 6. So A is the right answer. Question number 31. Profit on reissue of forfeited shares is transferred to which account? Once reissue of shares which got forfeited is made, then the balance left in the share forfeiture account should be transferred to which account? Capital reserve account. B is the right answer. Question number 32. Equity shares represents owner's capital, therefore an equity shareholder has got a residual claim over the income and the wealth of the company. Yes. Who is an equity shareholder, friend? Who is not a preference shareholder and who has got a right to participate in voting and all. Once company goes into liquidation also, first we will pay the outside liability people, then we will pay the preference shareholders, then whatever the residue that is left will be paid to the equity shareholders. In the normal existence, first interest will be paid, then preference dividend will be paid, and then the balance profit which is there, that will go to the equity shareholders. So an equity shareholder has got a residual claim over the income and wealth of the company. As a point, B is the right answer. Question number 33. Unpaid calls are shown in the balance sheet of the company by way of a deduction from the called up capital. So B is the right answer. Pro rata allotment of the shares means allotment of the shares to all the applicants in proportionate to the shares applied. So if that is the case, we call it as a pro rata allotment. Pro rata allotment means what? For a person who applied 10 shares, you are giving 8 shares. Like that example I am saying. So such kind of situation we call it as a pro rata allotment. Thereby the objective here is whoever makes the application, they will get some or the other number of the shares equitably. Question number 34, C is the right answer. Question number 35, for which of the following purposes can share premium be used? A very, very important question from the examination point of view. Security premium can be used for issuing the bonus shares. It can be used for writing off the company's preliminary expenses. It can be used for providing the premium payable on the redemption of the preference shares. So all the three are the purposes for which security premium can be very well be used. D is the right answer. When a company issues shares to the vendor of the assets for consideration other than the cash, these are issued. See, once shares are issued for consideration other than the cash, once we acquire a property or an asset, there instead of making the payment in cash, we can issue the shares. Such a issue can be either made at par or at a discount or at a premium. D, any of these is a right answer. Question number 37. The following entries are required in connection with the allotment of the shares of a company. So the following accounting entries are required in connection with the allotment of the shares of a company. Adjustment entry in respect of the discount allowed, if any, on the issue of shares. Transfer entry for the application money received on the shares allotted. Adjustment entry for excess application money, if any, being adjusted against the allotment money due. What is the correct sequence of these entries? Which is the first, which is the next? Which is the first and which is the next? First you will receive the application money, bank account data to share application. Then share application money will be transferred to the share capital account when such entry will be passed on allotment of the shares. On allotment of the shares, the entry that you are passing is what, friends? The entry that you are passing is share application account data to share capital account. Then the point here is if any discount is allowed on this, then you will also account for such kind of a discount. Then if any excess application money is there, that will be refunded by passing the entry share application account data to bank. So 213 is the order in which see, first application money received must be transferred to the share capital account in respect of the shares allotted. Then afterwards, at that time, you have to account for the discount also. Any surplus is to be refunded. That is the third phase. So D is the right answer. Question number 38. Any excess amount received on application can be adjusted at the time of allotment by passing the entry. The entry is share application account data to bank account. See, excess amount refunded का entry क्या है? Share application account data to bank. None of the above A, B, C options have got the bank, so D is the right answer. But what is the entry there for excess being refunded? Share application account data to bank is the point. D is the right answer. Question number 39. If any amount is received in excess of the nominal value of the share, it is known as share premium. Once shares are issued at a premium, then issue price will be more than the nominal value. Such is called as a security premium. Issue price, if it is greater than the nominal value of the share, it is called as a security premium. C is the right answer. Question number 40. According to section 79 of the Companies Act 1956, the company can issue the shares at a discount if authorized by the ordinary resolution and permission of the company law board is the point. This is who said so? Section 79 of the Companies Act 1956 says so that for the company to issue the shares at a discount, an ordinary resolution must be there as well as the approval of the company law board. So A is the right answer. Question number 41. The following information about the share capital is required to be disclosed in the balance sheet of the company. Issued, subscribed, paid up capital, add forfeited shares, less calls in arrears from directors, less calls in arrears from others. The chronological order of the disclosure under the head share capital in the balance sheet would be, as per schedule 6, what should be the order in which it should be? First, issued, subscribed and paid up capital. Then from the paid up capital you have to reduce the calls in arrears from directors, then calls in arrears from others is to be reduced, then you have to add the share forfeited shares account. So B is the right order. 1342. 1342. Then question number 42. Pluffing back of the profits. Yes, this is a very very important term. Pluffing back of the profits का मतलब क्या है? Company is doing very big business and it got the profit, and instead of paying the dividend, it retained those profits and is trying to convince the shareholders that instead of paying you dividend, दोस्तों, हम इसको क्या करते? We will reinvest the same into the business. वैसा बोले तो उसको टेक्निकली क्या टेक्निकली कैसे बताते आप? Pluffing back of the profits. Of course, the spelling must be correct. Pluffing back of the profit means reinvestment of the earnings is called as a pluffing back of the profits. That is, finally they are going to convince the shareholders to convert the reserves into the share capital by issue of the bonus shares and all. So that is also another way of pluffing back of the profits, thereby reinvestment of the earnings. You call it as the pluffing back of the profits. Question number 42B is the right answer. Question number 43. Which of the following statement regarding the forfeited shares is not correct? इसका मतलब क्या है? बाकी तीन correct है. What are the three things which are correct? Forfeited shares may be reissued at a discount or at a premium. Yes. True statement. The title of the new purchase is not affected by irregularity in the forfeited shares. Yes. By mistake, if the shares got forfeited and they got reissued, the person who purchases them, he will not get affected by the defect in the share forfeiture. Then return of allotment of reissue of forfeited shares must be filed with the ROC. Yes, करना. जब आप shares जो forfeit हुआ उसको reissue करे तो you have to intimate the same to the register of companies through a return of allotment of the reissue of forfeited shares. These three are correct. What is not correct? Board may consider the request from the defaulting ex-shareholders for cancellation of the forfeited shares before the disposal of the forfeited shares. Such kind of the request will not be entertained. So that is not a correct statement. Board may consider the request from the defaulting ex-shareholders for cancellation of the forfeited shares before the disposal of the forfeited shares. Like such, there is no requirement with respect to the shares forfeited, whereas A, B, C are the requirements with respect to the shares forfeited. D is the right answer, which is not a correct thing there. Question number 44. Identify the journal entry that records the issue of shares at a discount to be recorded at the time of allotment. See, once shares are issued at a discount, what is the entry that you are going to pass? What is the entry that you are going to pass? That is, first, these are discounts and premiums. These are all going to be accounted for at the time of allotment of the shares. So, share allotment accounted data, discount on issue of shares accounted data to share capital. So C is the right answer. For question number 44, C is the right answer. Question number 45. Identify the journal entry that is required when company issues fully paid up shares to its promoters for their services. यदि promoters के लिए if shares are issued without taking anything from them for their services with full gratitude, if you are issuing, बिना लेके कुछ दिए तो उसका मतलब क्या हुआ? You have incurred loss, है या नहीं? See, generally if you take the cash and issue the shares, then entry क्या है? Cash account data to equity share capital. बिना लेके देना बोले तो कैसा होता? In case if it is a bonus shares है तो reserves and surplus account data to bonus to the shareholders, bonus to the shareholders account data to share capital बोल के लिख सकते. मगर without giving anything to the without taking anything from promoters, recognizing their services, if you want to issue the shares, वो capital loss हो गया. Royal name for the capital loss is what, friends? Goodwill. Goodwill account data to share capital बोल के लिखना. कब लिखना वैसा? जब shares are issued to the share promoters without taking anything from them and in respect of the services which they have done, then the entry is goodwill account data to share capital. C is the right answer. Question number 46. Mark out the journal entry for issuing of the shares at a premium to be recorded at the time of allotment. क्या है? Share allotment account data to share capital to security a premium. Security premium is a liability, share capital is a liability. तो ये दोनों को क्रेडिट करके शेयर अलॉटमेंट अकाउंट को डेबिट कर दो, क्योंकि दैट रिप्रेजेंट्स द अमाउंट टू बी कलेक्टेड. सो बी इज द राइट आंसर. क्वेश्चन नंबर 47. Assertion is when pro rata allotment of the shares is made, the surplus application money is transferred to the share allotment account. Reasoning, no interest is payable on such surplus application money. Point here is there is no need to make the payment of any interest for surplus money which you received because of the oversubscription. That is a correct statement. And once surplus application money is there, it will be transferred to the share allotment account. Both the statements are correct, but second statement is not the correct explanation to the first statement. Is the answer. B is the right answer. Question number 48. Assertion, when shares are issued at a premium and amount of premium has been received, then at the time of forfeiture of the shares, the share premium account should be debited with the amount received. No. First statement is a गलत statement, क्योंकि share premium एक बार receive करे तो you cannot reverse the share premium or the security premium account. Then reasoning, premium once received should be cancelled when shares are forfeited. This is also गलत statement. तो दोनों गलत statement है. What is the answer, friends? That is, both the statements are incorrect. E is the right answer. What is it? E is the right answer. Both the statements are incorrect. Question number 49. The allotment of the share should be completed within how many days? 120 days of the issue of the prospectus. C is the right answer. C is the right answer. Question number 50. The public can company cannot issue the shares, preference shares, right shares, bonus shares, वो तो उन्होंने इश्यू कर सकते, मगर ये डिफर्ड शेयर कॉन्सेप्ट कहीं भी नहीं है. तो पब्लिक कंपनी cannot issue shares deferred. It can very well issue preference shares, right shares and bonus shares. So B is the right answer. A new company cannot issue the shares at a discount क्योंकि company law provision says what, at least 1 year from the commencement of the business you have to wait and all. So a new company cannot issue the shares at a discount. C is the right answer. Question number 52. A share denotes a dash part of the company share capital, a fractional part of the company share capital. B is the right answer. Question number 53. Share capital of a company has an identity quite dash from innumerable streams of contributions by the individual. Share capital of a company has an identity quite distinct from, quite separate from innumerable streams of contributions by the individual is a point. So share capital of a company has got a distinct identity. So people contribute to the company ka matlab they can contribute in different ways, but the share capital what they contribute, it has got a distinct and a separate from innumerable streams of contributions that will be made by the individuals. So question number 53, C is the right answer. Question number 54, a share forms the basis of dash in a company, ownership interest in the company. A share forms the basis of ownership interest in a company. B is the right answer. Question number 55, share application account when the application for shares are rejected. Once shares are rejected, share application account is to be debited because you have to refund the money. Once you need to refund the money, entry is share application account data to bank account. A is the right answer. Question number 56. The shareholders dash is not entitled to the dividend on the amount paid as calls in advance. Calls in advance ke upar they are not entitled to get any dividend. Is not. B is right answer. Question number 57. When application money is received, company credits dash account, bank account data to share application account. A is the right answer. Question number 58. When shares are allotted, the share capital account is debited or credited. A and B none. When shares are allotted, share capital account is to be credited. So B is the right answer, not the A. B is the right answer. Question number 59. The amount received over and above the nominal value of a share dash to be treated as revenue receipt is not to be treated as a revenue receipt. That is, the amount received over and above the nominal value is called as security premium. Security premium is not a revenue receipt, it's a capital receipt. So is not. B is the right answer. Question number 60. Discount on issue of shares is shown on which side of the balance sheet? On the asset side of the balance sheet under the heading miscellaneous expenditure, not at written off as a point. So A is the right answer. Question number 61. The balance in the share forfeited account is shown on the dash side of the balance sheet, on the liability side of the balance sheet as a part of the share capital only. D is the right answer. Question number 62. When shares are forfeited, the unpaid calls account due is credited or debited. See, once shares are forfeited, calls in arrears को क्या करना पड़ता? क्या calls in arrears को credit करना पड़ता? क्योंकि वो calls in arrears क्या बैलेंस दिखाते? डेबिट बैलेंस दिखाते, क्योंकि वो अमाउंट हम रिकवर करना पड़ेगा. तो किसी से हमको पैसा मिलना बोले तो डेबिट बैलेंस दिखाते वो, और उसको क्लोज करना बोले तो क्या करना? क्रेडिट कर देना पड़ेगा. B is the right answer. Question number 63. If the shares issued at a discount are forfeited, then at the time of reissue of these shares, new allotee gets the benefit of this account beside of any other benefits. See, if the shares are issued at a discount or forfeited, then at the time of reissue of these shares, the new allotee dash the benefit of this account besides any other benefit, gets this benefit of besides any other benefit. But it is not correct also to say that definitely he gets the benefit, because shares which originally got issued at a discount may be very much issued at a par at a later date. So I don't accept the answer that he gets definite benefit of this. So my answer is he does not get the benefit of this account besides any other benefit. Of course, the sentence construction, if you say apart from this he is also going to get another benefits. Of course, if again the shares are reissued also at a discount, then he is getting that particular benefit. In that pretext they kept it as an answer as a ye. Question number 64. According to section 78 of the Indian Companies Act 1956, share premium collected cannot be cancelled at the time of the share forfeiture of the shares. B is the right answer. Question number 65. The discount on issue of shares account is a dash at the time of the forfeiture of the shares. Discount on issue of shares, by nature it shows which balance? Discount on issue of shares shows a debit balance. We are supposed to make the closure of the same, so we need to credit the discount on issue of the shares. So B is the right answer. Question number 66 दोस्तों, a share is issued at rupees 100 on which 70 has been paid. Because of the non-payment of the balance 30 shares got forfeited. Now it can be forfeited at a minimum price of what? It can be forfeited at the minimum price of what? See, point here is 100 rupees is the share on which 70 has been paid and balance 30 is not paid. Now it can be forfeited at a minimum price of, what is it? You are making the forfeiture. What is the entry that you will pass? Share capital account data 100, to share forfeiture account 70, to calls in arrears 30. See, point here is, if you are going to make a reissue of shares, reissue of forfeited shares, discount cannot exceed the, what is it? Discount cannot exceed the amount which is there in the share forfeiture accounts. So in that context, the minimum price for which it can be issued is 30 rupees. Earlier 70 rupees collect करे, अब 30 rupees collect करके 70 rupees discount दिए तो भी चलता. So the question should be now that it can be reissued, not forfeited. It can be reissued at a minimum price of 30 rupees. They cannot issue it at 20 rupees. क्योंकि in which case the discount will go to 80 rupees, which is more than the amount which is standing to the credit of the share forfeiture account as a point. So this is very, very important question from the examination point of view, because straight the student will not be able to answer unless he knows the point that when you are making a reissue of share, forfeited share, it cannot be reissued at a discount which is more than the amount standing to the credit of the share forfeiture account. So minimum price for which it is to be reissued is a 30 rupees as a point. D is the right answer. Question number 67. A company issues 10,000 shares of rupees 10 each at a discount of 10% payable as follows. On application 2.5, on allotment 3 rupees, on first and final call 3.5. A holder of 100 shares did not pay the final call and his shares were forfeited. Share capital account is to be debited by what amount? See, 10 rupees is the face value, discount is 10 rupees, 10%. 10 के ऊपर 10% बोले तो 1 रुपए डिस्काउंट, और 2.5 plus 3 is equal to 5.5. 5.5 plus 3.5 is equal to 9 rupees. 9 rupees is the amount plus 1 rupee is the discount. Total makes it to 10 rupees. अब क्या है? That is final call is made. Final call is made, and the one who has not paid the final call, his shares are getting forfeited. So what is the total amount that is collected, friends? What is the total amount that is collected? On application 2.5, on allotment 3 rupees. Total 5.5 is collected. On 100 shares 5.5 बोले तो 550 got collected. 100 rupees is a discount because 100 into 1 is equal to 100 rupees is a discount, total 650, and 350 will be there in the calls in arrears. So once the shares which got issued got forfeited, then share capital account is to be debited with the called up amount. What is the called up in this case? Entire 10 rupees got called up. क्यों, कैसे मालूम हुआ आपको? क्योंकि वो क्या बता रहे हैं, फाइनल कॉल करने के बाद शेयर्स गॉट फॉरफिटेड. तो कॉल्ड अप कैपिटल क्या है? टोटल कॉल्ड अप कैपिटल इज 10 रुपीज. तो 100 शेयर्स के ऊपर टोटल कॉल्ड अप कितना होता? 100 into 10 is equal to 1000 rupees. What is the entry? Share capital account at R 100 to discount share capital account at R 1000 to discount 100 to share forfeiture 550 to calls in arrears 350. ऐसा करना पड़ेगा. C is the right answer. Question number 68. If vendors are issued fully paid shares of rupees 80,000 in consideration of the net assets of 60,000, then the balance of 20,000 will be if purchase consideration is more than the net assets taken over, the difference between the purchase consideration and the net assets taken over should be treated as goodwill. जब आप ज्यादा पे करके लेस ले लिए तो उसको क्या मानते आप? लॉस मानते. क्या लॉस? कैपिटल लॉस. कैपिटल लॉस को किस अकाउंट पे डालना पड़ेगा? गुडविल अकाउंट में डालना पड़ेगा. सो नाउ लेट अस सपोज चंद्रमौली पेड, व्हाट इज इट? 10,000 rupees towards the tuition fees to Mr. Chakravarti. But what is the entry this fellow is writing in his book? Shall I tell? He is writing tuition fees account at R 8,000, goodwill account at R 2,000, to bank 10,000. मैं पूछे उनसे ऐसा एंट्री क्यों डाल रहे हैं भाई? Yes sir, your tuition is worth of 8,000. I have paid you 10,000. तो 2,000 किसके लिए पे कर रहा? आपका गुडविल के लिए पे कर रहा. तो तुम ज्यादा पे करके कम लिए तो the difference need to be debited to which account? Goodwill account. So if purchase consideration is more than the net assets taken over, that difference is attributed to the goodwill account. So B is the right answer. Question number 69. A limited company issued equity shares of 100 each. It has called up 75 on each share but received only 60 per share. The share capital account will be credited with, share capital account always will be credited with the called up amount. It will be credited with the called up amount of 75 rupees. Question number 70. On a share of rupees 10, 8 has been called for but only 5 has been paid. Upon such shares being forfeited, the share capital account should be debited with the entire called up amount of 8 rupees. B is the right answer. Entry is share capital account at R 8 rupees, 2 calls in arrears 3 rupees, 2 share forfeiture account 5 rupees. What is the amount to be transferred to the share forfeiture account is always what is the amount which is collected. And what is the amount to be debited with the share capital is a called up amount on the share. So question number 70, B is the right answer. Question number 71. The directors of a limited company resolved to forfeit 1,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, rupees 7.5 paid up for non-payment of the final call of rupees 2.5 per share. 700 of these shares were reissued at 7 rupees per share. The amount to be transferred to the capital reserve account should be. पहले दोस्तों ले लो आपका कैलकुलेटर और पेन एंड पेपर. पूरा कितना अमाउंट टू बी ट्रांसफर्ड टू द शेयर फॉरफीचर अकाउंट? पूरा कितना अमाउंट शेयर फॉरफीचर अकाउंट को ट्रांसफर करना? 1000 इक्विटी शेयर्स इंटू 7.5. 1000 इंटू 7.5 कितना हुआ? 7,500. दैट विल बी क्रेडिटेड टू दी शेयर फॉरफीचर अकाउंट. उसमें कितना आप रीइश्यू करे? 700 शेयर्स को रीइश्यू करे. कितना डिस्काउंट देके करे? 3 rupees डिस्काउंट देके करे. तो ऑन 700 शेयर्स what is the share forfeiture amount representing that 700 shares? 700 into 7.5. पहले वो लिख लो. Share forfeiture account related to share forfeiture amount relating to 700 shares is 700 into 7.5. कितना 700 into 7.5? Less amount used for a discount, 700 into 3, 2100. तो 700 shares के लिए बाकी share forfeiture amount कितना? That is the difference between, what is it? That 700 into 7.5 कितना बताया आप? 5250 minus 2100. 5250 minus 2100, 3150. Only that much only should be transferred from share forfeiture account to the capital reserve account. So दोस्तों, only in respect of the shares which got forfeited and reissued, only amount must be transferred from share forfeiture account to the capital reserve. In respect of the shares which got forfeited but not yet reissued, the amount must continue to be there in the share forfeiture account only, is the point to be noted. Earlier also we discussed this point very clearly. Question number 72. When a company issues shares to the vendors of the assets for a consideration other than the cash, such shares are issued at, it could be issued at par or at discount or at premium. Any of these, it's a revision question. D is the right answer. Question number 73. A company forfeited 100 equity shares of the face value of 10 each, rupees 6 per share called up for non-payment of first call, 2 per share. What is the journal entry for forfeiture? Journal entry for the forfeiture is share capital account data up to the called up amount, to share forfeiture account data 400, to first call account 200 is a point. So B is the right answer for question number 73. Then question number 74. In the above question, assuming the forfeited shares are subsequently reissued as fully paid up shares at 7 rupees, what is the entry? That is बैंक अकाउंट डेटा, डिस्काउंट कहां से लाना? शेयर फॉरफीचर अकाउंट से. शेयर फॉरफीचर अकाउंट डेटा 300 टू शेयर कैपिटल 1000. क्वेश्चन नंबर 75. A company has a share capital of rupees 1 lakh and general reserve of 1,20,000. It proposes to issue shares out of general reserve in such a way that after the issue of shares, the remaining balance in the general reserve account should be equal to 25% of the total capital. Find out the remaining reserve from the following. So this particular question, how do you go about? See, after making the use of general reserve for making the bonus issue, what remains in the general reserve should be equal to the 25% of the total capital. In that case, find the remaining reserve from the following. See, 1,20,000 में से 44,000 निकाल दो, just to make it fast. 1,20,000 minus 44,000 कितना? 76,000 plus 1 lakh is equal to how much? 1,76,000. Then if you make use of 76,000 for issuing the bonus shares, total share capital of 1,76,000 हो जाएगा. तब 44,000 जो बाकी में वहां रहेगा, it will be 25% of the total share capital. 44,000 divided by 1,76,000 will be what? 25%. But how do you do? With an equation you have to go about as a point. With an equation you have to go about as a point. Anyhow, the working part you can see from my PowerPoint as a point. So दोस्तों, this is the last question which I am discussing with you, and the remaining questions, since what I personally feel are the remaining questions, earlier we did the problem section by spending about 10 hours on the problem section and the theory section. I don't think so there will be a difficulty in solving these remaining multiple choice questions. I take it granted that the students sincerely will make an attempt to solve the remaining problems. I'll move to the next topic. Thank you.